going on? What's going on? It's been a minute since I did a podcast. I'm back again to talk about self-love and how we can, love ourselves first beyond anything else. I didn't know how to self-love myself. Excuse me, coming up as a young girl, so as I got older, I started seeing things happen around me, and it kind of opened my eyes to a lot of things in life as far as self-love and how to love myself and how to be there for myself more than I'm there for anybody else, other than my children. But I think that's a very good topic for a lot of people, because there's a lot of folks that's out here dealing with learning to love themselves and the things that they've been through that probably put them in a state where they don't have self-love. It took me a minute. I'm 47, proud of it, you know what I'm saying? I have no regrets. I look back on life as a lot of learning lessons for myself, not as much as bad things or bad situations. It's more of a learning lesson, more of learning who I am, what I like, what I don't like, who I like, who I don't like, and why I don't like these people, or why some things that they may do might strike me in a way that makes me feel some type of negative energy. I wouldn't say hate, because that's a very strong word, and I try not to hate people. I just dislike some of their ways. So yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory. But I wanted to get on here and talk about self-love to see if there's some people out here who exhibit some of the things that I've faced in my life, and what I'm learning to do now with myself is, love me above anything, above all things, except for God himself, the creator who gave me life and put me on this earth to have the platform that I'm creating for myself. But a lot of people don't deal with life in the way that you would perceive them or want them to deal with it, because that's their life and their footprints. So it's hard for them to learn to self-love themselves if there's things that they've been through that are undescribable for someone else to understand, unless they've been down a similar path. No one's gone down the same exact path in life, I don't think. I've never met anybody who's went down that same exact road. We have similarities, things that are in common with what I went through and you went through, or they went through, or someone else. But in all, we all have our own paths and our own stories and our own experiences, and I wouldn't say downfalls, but stumbles, within the times that we've been on this earth living our life. So I just wanted to get on here and see what some people may have been through, or are going through, or maybe even trying to learn self-love. If there's something that you're interested in and you're trying to do for yourself, feel free to comment, leave a comment, go to my Instagram, Am Ms Lexi, on Instagram. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, I have a Snapchat. You probably have to DM me to get my Snapchat, but I'm on all these platforms, and I would love to work with some people that are trying to learn self-love or want to learn self-love, and see experiences that they may have been through that can help, you know what I'm saying, one another get through what we've been through or going through or have to face in life, you know. So that's a big thing for people in the world today, especially now today. There's so many things going on in the world that make it hard to even have any kind of emotion as far as a good emotion. We have a lot of bad and negative things happening, so there's a lot of regret from people. Oh, I should have did this way, or I should have did this that way. No, the way you did it was the right way. It was supposed to be done that way so that you could learn from it, feel that emotion, and know if you like that emotion or if you don't like that emotion. And if you don't, then you have to do something to change it. If the emotion didn't bother you, then you still work around it the best way you know how to work around it. So that's one thing that I had in mind. Some other things that may trigger, that's a big word, trigger you, is things people say. Somebody can say something that triggered a bad memory or a bad feeling or something that happened in your life that it didn't sit well with you, or you didn't feel like it was appropriate for that moment. So you might feel like, I don't like this feeling, I don't like how this felt, so I'm gonna react this way. Most times we just act off impulse. We don't think about how it would affect other people or even ourselves, because things that we do, there's always an action for, there's always a reaction for your action. You get what I'm saying? So when you have an action on something that you do, there's a reaction for it. And that could be a good reaction, it could be a bad reaction, it could be a moderate reaction, but there's always a reaction to an action. And that can also deal with self-love, self-esteem. I was listening to someone speak, and they were saying how, I think it was Jay-Z, we're in the hood, you know, if you look at somebody, they get upset and be like, oh, why are you looking at me? It's because they didn't love themselves, or they think you could see that what they were dealing with or going through. And that's a form of self-love. That's a form of loving yourself enough to not worry about what people see in you, you know. So it's pretty cool how time has taught us a lot, and the things we've been through. It may seem like I'm babbling, or at least I feel like I am, but these are thoughts that are coming up as I'm, you know, sitting here doing my research on self-love. And there's a lot, you know, I've been through a lot as a young girl, and dealing with life and raising children by myself. I had 4 children that I raised by myself, 3 girls and 1 boy. And it was very challenging because I had to learn each individual kid for who they were. Not only did I have to learn that about them, I had to learn it about myself. So it was 5 people that I had to learn who they were and how to love them, including myself. Including myself. I had to learn how to love myself as much as I learned how to love my kids. So it's a lot. It could be a lot, to take in for a person, especially a single mother. I know there's a lot of single fathers out there as well, and they have to learn to love themselves around taking care of their children. And that's a hard thing, because you have to hold your emotions back on certain situations because you don't want to react in front of your children, and then they take on these traits that you have presented to them, because you're presenting traits to them just by how you react to certain things. I didn't know that when I was younger, but I see a lot in my children now as adults and how I came off. So it made them think that it was okay to feel or express themselves that way, when in reality it probably wasn't the best thing, but it's a learning experience, and they're learning now how to love themselves as well as I am, and I think that's a beautiful experience. I'm gonna have some guest speakers soon, so it'll be even more appealing, if you want to say that. But I just wanted to get on here and give my thoughts on self-love and what it was to me and how I felt about it. And if you want to, at any time, you can comment, you can hit me up. If you feel like you want to do a guest spot and talk about some more things or continue, I'm going to do a couple of episodes on self-love. So I'm willing to have some guest speakers and, even get together and do maybe a few people at a time and talk about some things. But in between time, in the meantime, leave comments, share it, however you feel like you want to listen to it a couple of times. You can also hit me on my social platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'm gonna be interacting more on Twitter, just trying to get the word out there for my podcast, see how many people I can get to listen and want to chime in on some of the things that I talk about. So feel free to hit me up anytime. I'm willing to talk. I love to communicate with people that's on the same wavelength that I'm on and learn some things, or there might be something you could teach me or show me just as well as me teach you or show you. So feel free whenever, and leave comments. I'm going to also put this on my YouTube, so it'll be on YouTube for people to listen on YouTube as well. But it's been nice expressing some of the things I feel and think about. And you guys have a great and blessed day. And to all the fathers, happy belated Father's Day. Recorded this after Father's Day, so I would have said happy Father's Day, but happy belated, and blessings.